Test the Nation, the biggest live interactive test on British television. And tonight, you have the chance to take the nation's favourite IQ test and see just how you match up with those joining us live here in the studio. Starting with the models, the White Van Man, doctors, gardeners, redheads, and last but not least, the triplets. Now, please welcome your hosts, Anne Robinson and Philip Schofield.
Loves, the one that shows just how intelligent we all are. And let me tell you, even if you did the test last time, you need to do it again, because tonight is a newly devised IQ test. You can't afford to miss a single thing that's going on, whether it's his shirt, my facelift. Be warned. Keep your eyes peeled. If you need your specs, get them now. And we've come up with some very different and visual ways of measuring your grey cells. And for any newcomers, welcome to a great evening of enjoyment. The White Van Men are all... the test for the first time, you might be absolutely astonished at the results. And remember, because it is an IQ test, it's important not to cheat by conferring.
Now, I can tell you that our studio groups can't wait to get started and show just how brilliant they are. Look at the doctors. Yeah! Very confident. Then they've got it all sewn up. And the redheads, of course, up for challenge. Oh, yes. And remember, if you're playing at home, then this is how you can join in. If you're doing the test using pen and paper, download the scorecard from our website, which is at the bottom of your screen right now. Of course, you could use a scorecard that was printed in many of today's national newspapers. That's what you look out for. There you go. That's what it looks like. However, if you are taking the test online, please log on to our site as soon as you can. And if you want to do the test digitally, then press the red button and follow the on-screen instructions.
Now, we have one more group, our celebrities, and as usual, they're a lot more nervous than the rest of the contestants. So please lift their spirits by giving them a huge welcome.
He may be a dab hand on the green baize, but will he be snookered now? It's John Parrott. She scored highly as Queen of the Jungle, but can she survive tonight? Former royal correspondent Jenny Bond. He's in training for the Olympics, but is he prepared for this? Champion runner Ewan Thomas. TV comedian, star of Goodness Gracious Me and proud new mother Nina Wadia. He knows the value of antiques, but will he be outbid here? It's antiques expert Tim Wonnacott. She's topped the charts as a member of All Saints, so how high can she go tonight? Singer Natalie Appleton. Every week he pits his wits against young viewers in the Gunge Tank, but will he survive the ultimate test? See BBC presenter Simon Grant. And she's well ensconced in Albert Square, but how comfortable will she feel after this? Actress Tracy Ann Oberman.
And to get us all in the mood, let's have a look at how important IQ is to some people.
Well, of course, I am a member of Mensa.
You never are.
What? That old organisation for the lightly intelligent and the brainy people?
Yeah. You never are.
I am.
Yeah. Well, they can't be that intelligent if they let you in.
My IQ is 166. My IQ is 166.
Standard IQ test gave the following results. The penguins scored badly when compared with primitive human subgroups like the Bushmen of the Kalahari, but better than BBC programme planners. The BBC programme planner's surprisingly high total here can be explained away as being within the ordinary limits of statistical error. One particularly dim programme planner can cock the whole thing up.
Well, he's got an IQ of 6,000.
Is that what he told you?
Well, what is it then?
It has a 6 in it, but it's not 6,000.
What is it?
6.
Good friend of mine, a bloody good rep, Chris Finch. Yeah. IQ of 142. One of the cleverest blokes I know, certainly the cleverest bloke you know, isn't he?
Chris Finch, yeah.
Yeah. It was an argument once, and he went, "How can I hate women? My mum's one."
You haven't got high IQ.
High IQ?
You haven't got high IQ.
My IQ is huge. I went in with an IQ of 150. You're kidding. After 2 meetings, it was up to 175.
My God.
Yeah. Then I watched a couple of television programmes with Noel Edmonds in, and it went back down to 96.
So let's have a word with some of our celebrities here this evening. A very brave bunch. Nina, you were here for the first IQ test.
Yeah.
Why have you come back?
Well, actually, since I've had my baby, I think my brain has actually kind of gone completely. Because when the researcher rang and said, "Do you want to be on the show?" I thought she said, "Dress the nation." And I thought it was like some really cool fashion thing. So here I am back in this horrible
So basically,
chair.
you want to find out whether or not your IQ has changed through having a baby?
That's right, yeah.
OK, and how old's your baby now?
She's 5 months.
And who's looking after her tonight?
My husband.
OK, is he doing the test?
No.
He's not going to have time to do that, is he?
No.
And you and, obviously, it's 3 months to go to the Olympics, but you're putting yourself through a completely different test tonight. Why would you do that?
To be honest, I've not really used my brain since I left university nearly 10 years ago. So my mum's a school teacher, member of Mensa, so I just thought, give it a go and
so
see
you
how
don't
well
have to think when you...
Oh, yeah, you do, but to be honest, running comes naturally to me, but obviously tonight's going to be pretty difficult, so I put myself under a bit of different pressure. No, not at all. No.
And Jenny, where would you rather be? Would you rather be underground, covered in rats, in a jungle, or here?
I think I'd be back in the jungle, you know. This
Would
has
you?
the potential for huge humiliation. I had no idea it was an IQ test when they
No,
rang.
when we phoned you up, it was only actually when you'd agreed to do it that you said, "Oh, IQ."
I know, I thought it was the general knowledge. I'm all right on that. IQ, I'm just hoping all those shapes can't do it. So I ran down the town this morning and I bought a book. I've been studying all day with my mum and my dad. We've been sitting there doing all those shapes.
Last-minute swatting.
I know, I'm a bit of a swat.
Well, we'll see whether that pays off.
It won't.
Good luck, celebs. Annie.
Thanks, Philip. Now, as well as our celebs, of course, we've got our 2 experts, and one of them is very dear to Test the Nation fans. It is Superman Cooperman. So I must say, Superman Cooperman, you're looking particularly dashing this evening. Do I see a change of face?
Well, yes, I shed a few pounds since we last met.
How many pounds?
Ooh, 20-something, 28, I think.
Well, it has improved. Our second expert is the woman who makes science very sexy and glamorous, Professor Susan Greenfield. Thank you, White Van Men. Colin, you have devised the test, and IQ is obviously very important to you. Why should it be important to the rest of us?
Well, it can predict quite a few things about how people are going to behave. First of all, it's one of the things that's fairly constant across our lifetimes. Clever children usually grow up to be clever adults. And it predicts how long we stay at school, how well we do at school, and perhaps not surprisingly, what sort of jobs we end up in. But it also predicts how well we do at our chosen job. So, for example, the intelligent white van driver will be the best performing white van driver.
They think they're all intelligent. Tonight's test, difficult, isn't it? More difficult.
It's harder than ones we've had before, but don't worry about it, because there'll be something in it for everybody, and the IQ conversion at the end takes account of the difficulty of the test.
OK. No, we don't expect everybody to get everything right.
Absolutely not.
Not even the White Van Men.
No.
Susan, what's the best way to get ready for an evening like this?
Well, interesting enough, it's to get into the right mindset, because that can actually change how you perform. And there was an interesting study in the States, not with IQ tests, but with another kind of test, where people were scoring pretty much the same. And then they divided them into 2, and they said, OK, now try and imagine you're a college professor, to half. To the other half, they said, imagine you're football hooligans. And strangely enough, on the second round, the people that imagined they were professors for 10 minutes did better. The people that imagined they were hooligans did worse than they'd done previously. So I'd say to people, imagine you're Einstein or Elizabeth I or whoever.
Right, we'll try and do that. Could you imagine you were you were Elizabeth I? Yeah. I don't think they know who Elizabeth I is. Never mind. Can we train our brains?
We can certainly train our brains. What people don't realise is your brains are changing all the time and that we are brilliant at adaptation. We're very, very good at learning.
OK, let's see what happens. Phil?
I've never seen a white man so put out. He said, it's unfair, that, Phil. That's unfair, what she just said.
It was indeed, mate.
Not happy with that at all?
No, right, we're not.
No. The test, of course, brings out the competitive streak in all of us, and we'll be able to tell you which part of the country did best. Now, Northern Ireland have done well in past tests. We'll also be able to tell you which age group did best, and dare I say, whether men have higher IQs than women. Which they have had in past tests. Right, let's see how geared up our studio groups are. They may drive us mad on the roads, but will we see another side to them tonight? The White Band Men! Does the fieriness of their hair colour match the brilliance of their brains? The Redheads! They put on a great show at this time of the year in their gardens, but just how bright does that make them? The Gardeners! Good if you've got hay fever. And they can tell what's wrong with us with a wave of their stethoscopes, but will they score the most right answers tonight? The Doctors! Now, will being one of three make you brighter than one of one? Well, we'll be testing that out this evening with our triplets! Can they prove that brains and beauty do go together? They are our models!
Are we ready to start? Let me just say again, your spectacles should be at the ready because it's quite a visual test. So much so there might be times when you need to move closer to the screen actually to see the diagrams. Now, as usual, 70 questions coming up. Remember to have a go at every question. You won't get them all right. Well, I doubt it, but if you don't try each question, then your scores won't add up. The first section tests your logic. Let's start with an example. Look at the circles and then work out which of the ones in the second line should replace the question mark. Is it A, B, C, or D? Well, the answer is C, because as the sequence progresses, the balls get larger and darker in colour. Here's your example. So pencils, handsets, computers ready. The National IQ Test 2004 is about to begin. 5 questions coming up. In each one, you have to work out what comes next. 15 seconds for each. Question 1, complete the sequence. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 2, complete the sequence. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 3, complete the sequence. Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 4, complete the sequence. Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 5, complete the sequence. Is it A, B, C, or D? How was that for you? Come on now, I'm relying on the redheads. Now, I said this was going to check out your memory cells, and for the next questions, you have to memorise which of these pictures and numbers go together. And we're going to ask you to do some sums. Here's the example. Add the trowel to the hat. And what's the answer? Can any of the celebs tell me? Natalie?
Yes. Is it C?
Yes, that's correct. The answer is C12, and the reason is the trowel equals 3 and the hat is 9. It's gone very quiet here. OK, 6 different questions on what we've called picture maths. You have to start by memorising the following pairs of pictures and numbers. So question 6, work out this sum. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 7, work out this sum. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Now, memorise the following pairs of pictures and numbers. Question 8, work out the sum. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 9, work out this sum. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Now, memorise the following pairs of pictures and numbers. Work out this sum. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 11, work out this sum. I don't suppose the models or the doctors noticed, but those questions got a bit more difficult as we went on. White Van Men, do you memorise routes very easily? Yes. OK. The next questions are telling a story, and since Superman dreamt up this test, who better to star as the hero? Here's the example. Study each of these 3 scenes, and then you have to put them in the right order. OK, should the sequence go A, 1, 2, 3, or B, 2, 3, 1, or C, 3, 2, 1, or D, 1, 3, 2? Now, Superman, can you explain what you're up to here?
Right, we've got to rearrange these pictures so they tell a story. So in scene 2, you can see that somebody, I suspect our second-year students, have put a bucket of water above a door. In scene 3, we can see the bucket falling down and all the water coming in, out of it. And in scene 1, you can see me soaked to the skin with an empty bucket by my feet. So the correct answer has got to be B, 2, 3, 1.
It's gone very quiet again. We understood that, didn't we? So the answer is B, 2, 3, 1. Now we're going to go back to the test proper. 6 questions, 20 seconds each. So, question 12. Decide how these 4 scenes can be arranged to tell a story. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 13, 4 scenes coming up. How should they be arranged to tell the story? Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 14, 4 scenes coming up. Now, how should they be arranged to tell the story? A, B, C, or D? Question 15, another 4 scenes. And how should they be arranged? Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 16, another 4 scenes. And how should they be arranged? Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 17, 4 scenes. And how should they be arranged? Is it A, B, C, or D? And that's the end of the first section. 4 more to go. Philip.
Right, let's see how our studio groups are getting on. Lots of people have theories about what makes us concentrate better. We've got 2 experiments going on tonight. The models have been split into 2. Half were given a whole load of coffee, and the other half were kept off the caffeine and just given mostly a diet of water. And so who was on the caffeine? So if you put your hands up there, and who was on the water? OK, Holly, now you've been on mostly caffeine. Do you think it might have helped your IQ?
I hope so. Generally it does. I always have coffee first thing in the morning, so I'm able to function properly for the rest of the day.
You feeling confident?
I'm feeling awake.
Are you?
Yeah.
The great thing about the models is I was watching you concentrate. You're all pouting and concentrating at the same time. Well, as you're watching, yeah, fantastic. And we've also got Carly here, Carly Brinklow. Now, Carly, you were just on the water.
Yes.
Are you normally a coffee drinker?
No, I don't drink coffee at all, but I find I've got natural energy anyway, so I don't need it.
Well, we'll see how you do this evening. We've split you down the line here. I can tell you that we do already have a position for you, models, and it is currently 6th. Sorry about that. Just the white-haired man loving it over there. Now then, over amongst our triplets, we've been testing what is called well, you keep the noise down, the Mozart theory. Now, that is, if you listen to Mozart for about 10 minutes before you take an IQ test or any test, your IQ score could be higher. And so we've put that to the test. We've got our 3 triplets here. We've got Abby, Oliver and James. And Abby here has been listening to this. Whereas Oliver has been listening to this. And James hasn't actually been listening to anything at all. So 10 minutes before the programme came on air, you've got your headphones on and you were listening very carefully. Do you think it's helped in any way?
I hope so. It was quite nice music. It helped me to relax beforehand,
on the
at least.
motor. Well, we'll see how that alters your IQ. And the punk, would you normally listen to punk?
I'd actually quite like that, yeah, it was quite
Did you?
good.
You're feeling like, you're
I am, but
raring to go?
my mind seems a bit busy now and a bit messy. So.
OK, how did that sort of help you with
I don't
the
think it
first
was
section?
helping in the first
Didn't help you at all.
section, no.
If you want to know who the band were, the drummer is actually over there in the white van, men. There he is. He's Tino Palmer. Normally bare-chested and in a kilt. Abby and Oliver, at the moment, you've got 13 out of 17, OK? And James got 11 out of 17, so that's his score so far. Annie?
Thanks. Simon, does music help you concentrate?
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, if you've got really heavy lines to learn, then I'll kind of listen to something easy listening.
What do you call easy listening?
Bit of lounge music, bit of jazz, I think.
A bit of jazz?
Bit of jazz.
OK. John Parrott, does playing your game help to concentrate your mind? Do you need to keep using your brain all the time?
Yeah, quite a lot, I think, Anne. I mean, it's a game of familiarity anyway. We practice 4 or 5 hours a day, and, of course, it's learning angles all the time, so things like that should help, although, looking at those first few questions, I want to go back to question of sport. It was a lot easier.
Do you know about your IQ at the moment? I mean, are you good at IQ tests?
I haven't got a clue.
OK. Nina, rather, do you, learning your lines, do you find that your memory is good, or have you had to practice a lot?
No, I cheat a lot and stick Post-it notes all over the set. So anyone who knows me will know where they are.
And Tracy Ann, for your new role in EastEnders, you had very little time, didn't you? About 10 days? Was it 10 days?
About 3 when I got all 16 scripts through the door, yes.
So what did you do?
Like a hamster, just over and over and over again, repetition.
And it's been OK?
It's been all right.
Oh.
Haven't fluffed so far.
OK, Philip.
We're about to move on to the next bit of the test. Now, this may come as something of a surprise, though Annie did warn you to pay attention. The next questions refer back to the film we showed you at the beginning of the programme. And here is an example. Which organisation did Mel Smith join? Was it A, Mensa, B, PDSA, C, ROSBA, or D, Camera? All right, gardeners, were you paying attention when you walked in this evening, right at the very beginning of the programme, or were you just looking at the models?
A little bit of both, I think, yeah.
And, do you know the answer to...
I think it's A, Philip, Mensa.
You think the answer was A, Mensa. Rest of you agree? Yeah. Now, let's have a look. The answer was, indeed, A, Mensa. Well done, Annie.
Thank you, Philip, and the gardeners. Now, this section is all about observation. 5 questions to see whether you were paying attention to that film at the beginning of the show. 20 seconds per question. So, question 18. What was the IQ of BBC programme planners? Was it 8, 12, 20, or 80? Question 19. 2 groups showed higher IQs than BBC programme planners. One was Bushmen. What was the other? Was it lumberjacks, stoats, penguins, or social workers? Question 20. Mel Smith said that his IQ was initially what? 140, 150, 160, or 175? Question 21. What was behind Mel Smith and Griff Rhys-Jones? Was it a street, the inside of a bus, total blackness, or a pub interior? And question 22, to what did Mel Smith's IQ fall? Was it 8, 83, 96, or 100? yes, we've really come up with some more interesting ways of shaking and rattling your IQ. And there are more to come. We're going to continue with observation. White van men, are we really paying attention? Well, actually, you know, I know they're being very egotistical over here, but they are at the moment in third place. Obviously, Susan Greenfield's had a huge effect on them. OK, this time, some pictures to look at, 4 pictures coming up, only 2 seconds to study each one, so watch carefully. Did you notice something missing from either the slide, the roundabout, the swings, or the rocket? White van men, you brilliant people. What number? C. Very good. It is the answer. Because one of the swings isn't there. The chains are hanging in space. OK, looks better now. On with the next 4 questions. You have to study the sets of pictures. Watch out for the one with something wrong. You've got 2 seconds to look at each of them and then 10 seconds to work out what's missing. OK, question 23. Have a look at that, that, and that, and that. Which picture had something essential missing? Was it the hippopotamus, the buffalo, the rhinoceros, or the elephant? Question 24, look at these pictures. And which picture had something essential missing? Was it the shower, the wash basin, the loo, or the bath? Question 25, look at the pictures. Again, which picture had something essential missing? Was it the microwave, the vacuum cleaner, the washing machine, or the ironing board? Question 26, look at the pictures. And which picture there had something essential missing? Was it the fax, the lamp, the laptop, or the chair? Now, doctors, we sort of presume that you're trained observers, are you? Yeah. You're extremely good at noticing things. Yes. Good. What colour are my eyes?
Brown.
You're saying brown?
Brown.
You say brown?
Blue.
You say blue?
Blue.
Blue?
Blue.
Blue.
Blue?
Blue.
Who's for blue? OK, there you go, Anne.
OK. My eyes are green. So that was very, very good, wasn't it? The surgeon's done a bit round the sides, but the eyes are green. And you are in second place, astonishingly. OK, last part of this section on observation. This time it's about landmarks. Here's the example. Which part of this picture has got something wrong with it? You have got 2 seconds to look. OK, Tim, you're trained to be able to spot a fake. Give me the answer.
How can you be so beastly and ask me a question
Because
like
that's my job.
Do you want to know what button I pressed? You do.
Go on.
I pressed button A.
You press button A?
I pressed button A.
Oh, that's because you're wrong.
Because I meant to press button B because the crown's missing.
Yes, that's exactly right. The Statue of Liberty seems to have lost her crown. Right. On with the test. 5 more famous places or famous people. Beware now, you have 2 seconds to study each picture, then 10 seconds to answer each question. So, question 27, study this. And which part of the picture had something wrong with it? A, B, C, or D? Question 28, study the picture. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? '29, study. Okay, was it A, B, C, or D? Question 30, study. Is it A, B, C, or D? '31, last one. A, B, C, or D? I don't know why the doctors are finding it so funny. That is the end of the second section. 3 more to go. Models looking more than beautiful. And isn't it odd that they've all been on holiday, all suntan? Philip.
So the doctors... Oh, it's all kicking off here now. The doctors were actually booing the white van men earlier on, I noticed. Surprised me, actually, for such a distinguished group of people. Artie, you are logical as a doctor, obviously, but a little scatterbrained in your real life.
Unfortunately, yes.
In what way? How did that show itself?
There have been a couple of occasions. I think my first disaster was when I missed an exam at medical school. I was living in Collier's Wood and my exam was at St George's Hospital and I got lost on the way.
Did you make the exam?
No, no.
And also, you haven't got any better, have you? Because it's happened recently.
A few years ago, I got into a car after a party. My key was a little bit stiff in the lock, but it opened. Got in, as one would, turned the ignition, drove.
Yes, yes.
And realised it wasn't actually my car.
I think you'll find that's called theft.
I didn't get caught, so I drove it back.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm not sure. I don't want to guess at the moment.
Let me give you your score. Can I have the score for it? 23 out of 31. That's very good. Excellent. Well done, Annie.
OK, Colin, what have powers of observation got to do with intelligence?
Well, we know a couple of things from the sort of psychology experiments that have been done. First of all, we know that highly intelligent people can actually spot things faster than people who are lower intelligence, which is why we had the last lot of questions just flashed up for 2 seconds at a time. And also we know that highly intelligent people, some studies show, process information more deeply. You tend to relate it to other things you know, and it helps you remember it, which is why we had the questions on the video clip, which you didn't know you were going to be asked about.
Yeah, and do men think they're cleverer than women?
Men are convinced that they're cleverer than women. I'm saying that one of our audience groups is convinced that they're all geniuses, but when you actually look at the figures, the sex difference is usually very, very small. So men are very optimistic.
OK, Susan, how can we develop our skills of observation?
I think it's to realise that everything you do, it's up to you. It's not in your genes necessarily. So the more you train your brain to do things, the better it is. And so you can train yourself to do these kinds of tests and you'll get better.
Now, we do make assumptions about people's brains depending on how they look.
We do.
Now, you're known for looking sexy. Is that a disadvantage as a scientist?
I'd hope not. Being a scientist, you're just a scientist. But it's harder when you go to a party and you say you're a scientist and then people back away. Yeah. They don't come back again. They go to get a drink and they don't come back with it.
What, because they're frightened of a clever woman?
Well, you ask them.
OK. Philip!
Mary Anna Harter, who we're keeping an eye on this evening, because we're sort of keeping an eye on your score, you say that you are really very angry about the preconceived ideas that people have. Models are stupid, the blondes are dumb, the redheads are fiery. You're cross with that?
I think I'm a little bit cross. There is a preconception that if you're nice to look at, there's nothing going on up here, which isn't true. I'm a Cambridge graduate. I've got 4 A's, my A-levels.
So stick that in your pipe and smoke it right down then.
I'm not that ugly, am I?
Your score at the moment is 19 out of 31.
Is that OK?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Is that OK? Yeah, that's pretty good. Over over with our triplets here, we've 3 ladies. We've Janet, and we've Liz, and we've Mary, keeping an eye on your scores as well this evening. You guys, you all dressed alike until you were sort of 17, didn't you?
We certainly did.
And have people ever mistaken you for one another?
Certainly have.
Have you ever played on that?
We have.
Have you?
At school.
Did you?
We drove the teachers mad. We used to change our name badges, and they just couldn't tell us apart.
Well, this evening, who thinks they're going to do the best?
I don't know.
Janice is actually doing the best at the moment. Yeah, well done, Janice. Terrific. Now, have a look at this piece of tape now, because we all have our preconceived ideas. Now, this piece of tape looks at all of our groups individually and features at the beginning 3 ladies who you might recognise. It's actually these ladies in their first flush of youth.
That's Mary, isn't it?
No, it's Janice.
No, you're Mary.
No, I'm Elizabeth.
No, I'll get it
Mary.
right soon. What is there about the Navy that's attracted you, all 3 of you?
The boys.
Oh, give us a swing of that, Charlie.
Oh, they said you're driving.
Well, you're doing the lifting, then.
Well, as you can see, I've made some suggestions for plants. Endymion hispanicus, Diorama pulcherrimum, Galtonia candicans, Fritillaria imperialis, Acanthus hirsutes, Wisteria sinensis alba, Veronica beccabunga, Digitalis perea, Syringa vulgaris, Forsythia.
Mum, Dad, why don't you take a seat? There's a couple of things I've got to talk to you about. Look, I know it's important to you, and it's what you want, but it's not what I want.
You don't mean...
Yes. I don't want to be a pop star.
Oh, God!
I want to be a doctor.
Never! Look, son, it's just not right these days for an Indian boy to be a doctor.
You're quite lucky, really, in that you can fall back on your education. I mean, didn't you go to Cambridge?
I did, yeah. But that was just a day trip to Dartford. But I ain't got no formal qualifications, but it's never really what I mean. Although the optician did say I did very well in the eye exam.
So what do you look for in a lady, then, apart from the obvious?
I do like redheads.
Really? Well, I'm red all over, collar and cuffs.
Good judgment. Can I tell you, redheads, you're in first place. Yeah! The other great thing is that all our redheads here are genuine redheads, not assisted red hair. They're all genuine there. Now, I remember you and I winning a competition as redheads.
That's right.
What's happened since?
I'm always messing about with my hair, you know. I even did this little black bit just for you. I thought you might like it.
Well, I think I preferred your red hair.
Oh, you sound like my mum. Yeah.
Nina, that was you, of course, we saw in Goodness Gracious Me. Now, you've had a little girl. Is she to be a pop star or a doctor?
Oh, neither.
Neither?
No, I think I'll turn her into a man at some point. I have no idea.
Tim? Yeah? Can you be in the world of antiques if you don't have a bow tie?
Oh, yes, of course you can. But if you mean, do you need to wear a suit? I mean, it's very difficult to go out and value somebody's Picasso for 21 million and wear a boiler suit at the same time, when they just don't take you seriously.
And do all your ties match your waistcoats?
Only for you tonight.
You look so dashing. Thank you very much indeed. Now, we're moving on to the next section to see how good you are at reasoning. Here's the example. Ruler is to length, as clock is to... Is it inch, watch, wood, or time? Susan, can you help us work out the answer here?
D.
Is that it?
Oh, you want to tell you how I got there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Susan.
Right, OK, so you want to see the cat. OK, so a ruler measures the length of things and a clock measures the passing of time.
Good. That's our professor. The answer... The answer, never mind, we've got the white van drivers. The answer is D, time, since a ruler measures length and a clock measures time. Did you get that, gardeners? Yes. I'm not sure they did. 5 questions like that, 20 seconds per question. Question 32. Film is to camera as disc is to, is it sphere, video cassette, lens, or computer? Question 33. Pip is to orange as word is to. Is it reading, book, spoken, or fruit? Question 34. Retriever is to dog as cox is to. Is it boat, box, apple, or grub? Question 35. Evidence is to guilty as job interview is to. Is it advertisement, job offer, application form, or best clothes? And question 36. Polar bear is to Africa as turnip is to. Is it flower bed, Asia, penguin, or pumpkin? The next part of the section is about shapes and how they relate to each other. Here we go with an example. Look at the relationship between the top two shapes, apply it to the bottom shape to work out the missing shape. And you'll find the answer is B, and here's why. The shapes move through 90 degrees clockwise. Now, your turn with the next 5 questions. 20 seconds to answer each. Question 37. Is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 38, is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 39, is the answer A, B, C, or D? Question 40, is the answer A, B, C, or D? And finally, question 41, is the answer A, B, C, or D? And while you're all concentrating, we're going to go straight on to the last part of the section and missing links. Here's the example. Which of the answer options share a common link with these 3 words? Lamp, box, and parcel. Is it thin, gate, tool, or style? Any of the triplets think they know the answer? Let's go to the Hope brothers. That's Barry, Philip, and Robert Hope.
D. D.
Is it? Go on.
D. D.
It's B. Did you say B?
B for Bravo.
Oh, no,
B
it's
for
B.
Bravo.
OK, so that wasn't very hopeful at all. The answer is B, gate, because they are all associated with post. That's lamp post, post box, parcel post, and gate post. And triplets, you need to brighten up your ideas because you're in 5th place at the moment. If they don't win, these van drivers. On to the test questions. 5 questions, 25 seconds to answer each. Question 42. Which of the answer options shares a common link with these 3 words? Bounce, crystal, and bat. Is it beetle, radiator, pencil, or cannon? Question 43, the common link with these 3 words, which are Scotch, timer, and fried, is the link cracked, fierce, spotted, or deep? Question 44. 3 words, flag, star, and barge, which is the common link. Is it plastic, May, tree, or happy? Question 45. The 3 words are stop, pepper, and communist. The common link, is it herring, safe, beer, or school? Okay. Question 46. The 3 words are night, morn, and berry. Is the common link live, wet, coal, or spear? And that's the end of the 3rd section. Only 2 more to go. We are halfway through the test. Big sighs of relief from almost all the groups, but are we enjoying ourselves? Are you enjoying?
Being good at remembering faces and understanding the point of the question can help you do well in tests like this. If you need proof, take a look.
Leg, head, and bird. Now, I want you to write down a single word that could precede all 3. Leg, head, bird. Good. Hairy.
Hairy leg, hairy head.
Bird. You can't have a hairy bird.
Well, what about an ostrich?
Well, an ostrich isn't hairy. An ostrich has got feathers.
It's got hairy legs.
Form a straight line, would you, gentlemen? Ask the First Lady to step in, Constable Partridge. Just walk along the line, madam, see if you can recognise the man.
It seems clear to me that Bernie is a child who uses the right side of his brain far more than the left.
You better start using the other side of your brain.
Good morning, good morning. Are you Dr. Spaulding, the specialist who helps people with bad memories? Excuse me a moment, would you?
Yes, I am, yes.
So there are all sorts of different ways of remembering things, and we've got some people now who use different methods. Sophie Louise is 23 from Peterborough. What's your memory tip?
Well, it's basically I use a visualisation technique involving the pubs in my local town.
Oh, yeah?
Say if I need to remember your PIN number from your credit card, for example, Philip, what I would do is I'd visualise myself going into the first pub that I usually go to and ordering, say, 2 tequila slammers. And then I'd go to the next pub and find £5 note on the floor. And it works like that, and it works well.
So you don't actually have to go to the pub to do it?
Well, I do, but you don't have to.
So you're so legless you can't remember what it was supposed to... Yes, I see, OK. Well done to you. And another method we will find in our doctors, actually. It's a doctor who is from Exeter, and she is Louise Coomer. Hi, Louise.
Hello.
OK, what's your method?
It's rude mnemonics, Phil.
OK.
Basically, what I do is memory dominates, obviously, students learning. And to memorise various things, you just have a sentence and each word means something else.
So you use it for the bones in your hand?
Yes,
bones in the wrist. What would that be?
Do you want me to say the mnemonic?
Yeah, of course I would.
OK.
How rude is it? Is it very rude?
Reasonably rude. It's some lovers try positions that they can't handle.
Well, it's not too rude. And when you're looking at someone's wrist, would you actually say that quietly under your breath?
Well, I'm not actually a doctor yet. I'm a student, but I will do when I am, so yes.
That's actually going to scare your patient, isn't it? All right, we've got Louise Coomer over here, and Louise has a way of remembering Latin names, don't you? Of course, you would have to do that as a gardener. Rowena? OK, Rowena.
Hi.
So how do you remember the Latin names?
Well, I always take them to bed with me in a list.
Do you?
And say them very loud, out loud.
And it drives your husband absolutely crazy?
It drives him absolutely mad.
Are there any sort of sexy Latin names?
Well, there's Passiflora.
Oh, Passiflora.
Yes. that's the passion flower.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Annie.
Actually, before we leave the gardeners, I think everyone should know we do really have the most fantastically impressive cross-section of gardeners here. We have 7 National Trust gardeners. Can you stand up so we can... Yeah, enormous pleasure you give us all. Thank you. Award-winning... We've got some award-winning gardener designers. And also we have gardeners who are at Chelsea. Where are our Chelsea gardeners? Come on. Presumably you've just cut... You're busy, aren't you? Because you've got to get it ready for Monday. Is the Queen there on Monday? You'll have to get back as soon as you've finished here. Jenny, how's your memory? Have you ever had a really embarrassing experience?
It's very poor, Anne, actually, I think, shamefully. I think it deteriorates with age, but there are moments, I mean, when you're reporting on the royal family that things have gone wrong. You'll know, in live reporting, you memorise it all, you know it perfectly well, and then the newsreader comes to you. I remember a time at Highgrove when Harry had been taking pot, and I was standing outside, and there was no one left at 10 o'clock at night except me, the cameraman, and an owl in the tree. And I suddenly heard Michael Burton say, and Jenny Bond is at Highgrove. Jenny, tell us what's happened. And I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't remember where I was. Who was I talking about? Was it Charles? Was it Edward? And my mouth started mouthing on while my brain tried to catch up frantically. It was just awful. Worst thing. It's like a frontal lobotomy on live television. You'll know that.
Yes, I do, yes, many a time. Now, Natalie, assisted blonde, genuine blonde?
Assisted.
Assisted, but do people have a special idea because you're blonde that you're not very bright? I mean, do you think that happens to blondes?
No, not really.
No?
No.
OK. And, Tim, you must need a really good memory, don't you?
Well, in the art and antiques business, you've got to be quite sharp-eyed, as I proved by failing to press the right button for the crown on the top of the Statue of Liberty. No, but you do have to be able to remember a certain amount, it's true.
Have you ever in all your years passed a fake as the real thing?
Well, I have to say, it does happen, and I'm not entirely innocent. I mean, when I started in this business 30 years ago, the most important thing that you had in your mind was to convince everybody that you knew everything about everything. As one gets older, of course, you realise that actually you know nothing about anything. And that's the way life progresses. And I guess in those early days, and I think back of how I used to catalogue some objects with a very thin veneer of knowledge, I must have got all kinds of things going
We'll
through.
come back to you.
We'll give you an update on our Mozart experiment. Remember, we had Abby, who was listening to Mozart 10 minutes before the programme came on air, Oliver, who was listening to Punk, and James, who wasn't listening to anything at all in our triplets. Abby, at the moment, is in the lead. She was the one that listened to Mozart. Do triplets help each other to learn, Colin, or do they rely on the other one, or either one of the others, to know the information?
Well, I don't know too much about triplets because they're a fairly sort of unusual group, but I know a little bit about twins. And certainly as far as intelligence is concerned, which isn't quite the same as learning, both twins, identical twins, tend to show very, very similar levels of intelligence, almost like testing the same person twice. And so it doesn't seem to be the case that one of the twins coasts and lets the other one get on with it. They seem to develop more or less in parallel.
And does your memory deteriorate with your age?
It's not so much as deteriorate as change. So when you're very young, as we all know, young kids can learn languages very quickly because they unconditionally will learn anything that they're confronted with. But as we get older, and we've learned things already, we evaluate what's coming in terms of what's happened already. And so it goes from what's called a fluid intelligence to a crystalline intelligence. So you're slower to learn, but what you do learn sticks longer, and it makes more sense. This is called gist memory, and I was very interested in the last test, where you had to see the common link. If you'd had to learn those words off by heart, an older person would probably insert the word that wasn't there and thought they'd remembered it, whereas a younger person wouldn't, but then the older person would retain that memory for longer.
All right, well, thank you for that. Let's see whether or not that is actually the case with a couple of people over here with our redheads, because we have two ladies. We've got Tina Williams and Sandy. Do you think, ladies, that your memories have changed with your age?
I don't think so, Philip. I work really hard, I study really hard, I love to learn.
Now, you've lived your lives quite differently, haven't you?
Yes, we have.
OK, and you've been the more studious.
Sandy would consider me the more academic one, yes. I've got the degree and the A-levels and all the rest of it.
And you sort of dropped out?
Gone nothing.
a bit of a hippie.
I dropped out of school to be a hairdresser. I dropped out of hairdressing to be a hippie. I was introduced to boys and booze and I haven't looked back.
Sandy is ahead of Tina. Oh, no! Now, there's a surprise. Yes, fantastic. Yes, now, stay where you are and don't drop out of this. Now, then, let's see whether Tina and Sandy can do the example for the next section. It's about building blocks fitting together. So look at these shapes and see which two fit together to make the larger shape. And you're going to example this one. Is it 2 and 4, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, or 1 and 4? OK, so, Brainbox, what do you think?
No, I didn't even look. I was too busy looking at you.
It's no good.
Hang on, give me a chance, give me a chance. I'll say 3.
You're going to say 3?
Yeah.
OK. Well, I want A, B, C, or D.
Oh, right. B.
B. You're going for B. Well done. That was a guess, but you're right. The answer is B. 1 and 3. It's the shape 1 rotates 90 degrees anti-clockwise, shape 3 rotates 90 degrees clockwise, and they join together. A thing of beauty, Annie.
I love it. The redheads could do it with their eyes shut, you see. Right, let's see how you do with the actual questions on picture puzzles. 5 questions, 15 seconds per question. Question 47. Which two of the shapes can be fitted together to make the larger shape? Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 48. Which of the two shapes can be fitted together here to make the larger shape? Is it A, B, C, or D? Two shapes here that fit together to make the larger shape. Is it A, B, C, or D? Again, question 50, the two shapes that make the larger shape. Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 51, the two shapes that make the larger shape. A, B, C, or D? Now, we're moving on to some pictures, and you need to work out the association. Here's the example. Uncle Albert is to this picture as Prince Andrew is to A, B, C, or D. Jenny Bond, that's got to be easy for you.
Oh, yes, it should be, shouldn't it? And I've gone completely stupid. I can't think the answer must be... Oh, tell me what the answer is, Colin.
I think it might be... Don't know what the answer is.
OK, we'll settle for B.
Thank you very much.
OK, between you, B, Uncle Albert is uncle to Del and Rodney, although we said no conferring, but they are the celebs, and we have to make allowances. And Prince Andrew is uncle to Princes William and Harry, so the answer is B. OK, on to the questions. 5 of them, 15 seconds each. So, question 52. England is 2. As Scotland is 2. Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 52. Glass is 2. As shopping is 2. Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 54. Garage is 2. As hospital is 2. A, B, C, or D. Now, that's garage in the sense of the mechanics sort of garage you take your car to. Question 54. Carriage is 2. As sausage is 2. Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 56. Stressed is to desserts. As stop is to. Is it A, go, B, walk, C, pots, or D, halt? And that's the end of the 4th section. Only one more to go. Philip.
Let's have a word with Lucy. Lucy Hyde. Hello, Lucy. You, how are you doing this evening?
I'm struggling a bit.
Are you?
I forgot my glasses.
Oh. You have a habit of forgetting things, actually, don't you? Even when you're skydiving.
Yeah, well, they went through all the training beforehand. You're sat in there for an hour and telling you exactly the positions that you need to get to when you're free-falling. So...
Leave it.
Get up there, I'm 15,000 feet in the sky and falling at 120 miles an hour, and I'm just in my own little world, and I'm like this to the camera.
Looking at the view.
Oh, no, I couldn't at that time. You're falling so fast. I was just enjoying it, really. And the instructor's tapping me. I was like, leave me alone. And I totally forgot what he's tapping me for is he's about to pull the parachute cord and obviously get thrown back if your arms are apart and you're meant to do this. And I'm just in my own world, so I've just got thrown back, cracked my back, and I've got whiplash in my neck.
And is it also true that you forgot the face of your own father?
Yes, I'm really terrible.
And he reminded you by banging you on the head?
Yeah, I was walking through town, walked straight past me and just whacked me over the head with his newspaper.
Annie.
Susan, why do some people find it easier to remember things than others?
I think some people have good strategies. It's always about making connections.
OK. Philip, are you with us yet?
I'm on my way. Actually,
hurry, Philip. Don't waste time.
I'm so sorry. With Simon, actually. Simon, it's quite important for you doing this test tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. I think it's about paying attention, really, because I have a tendency not to pay attention a lot.
Did you have someone on your programme who was actually little and in Mensa?
Oh, yeah. We do a game on the Saturday show called Gunge Grant where I get pitted against, I suppose, a child, and it's general knowledge questions, and the person who loses gets gunged, and I was pitted against the youngest member of Mensa and lost badly. 9 years old.
So it's important for you to prove something this evening, then?
Yes, I've pressed B for a lot.
And Nina, how difficult is this compared to the last test that you did?
Oh, this is way more difficult for some reason. I don't know if it's because I've had a child or I'm just rubbish.
Which is why you're here. You were saying you were here to find out whether your IQ has changed.
Definitely.
But you didn't find out your IQ the last time you were here.
No, I didn't. No, but the researchers have it somewhere. So
would you be would you be giving your IQ this evening? You're going to keep
God,
that
no.
quiet. Not a chance.
No way.
Annie.
Thank you. And the last section on lots of visual memory questions here. We'll go with the example first. Now, memorise the following pairs of pictures. All right, what was paired with the tree? Was it the pig, the cup, the radio, or the castle? Okay, redheads, can we have the answer, please? B, yes, you're absolutely right. B, the cup was paired with the tree. Now, there are 4 sets of pictures. Memorise the following pairs of pictures. Hang on to those in your memory because the questions relating to them aren't coming up yet. I never said it'd be easy tonight. Before that, we're going to show you some distorted faces and see whether you can work out who they really are. For example, who's this? Is it Noel Edmonds, Richard Branson, Jeremy Beadle, or Robin Cook? Models, can you give me the answer? You probably don't, a lot of you have posters of Robin Cook up in your bedroom. Yes, the answer is B. You did say B, didn't you? Yes, the answer is Richard Branson, and he does look better now. 4 more questions on faces, 15 seconds each. So, question 57, who's this? Is it Tim Henman, Hugh Grant, Will Young, or Tobey Maguire? Question 58, is that Michael Owen, David Beckham, Johnny Wilkinson, or Jenson Button? Question 59, is that Martin McCutcheon, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Celine Dion, or Victoria Beckham? And who's that? Is it Ringo Starr, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, or George Harrison? We are now going to those pairs. 5 questions. You need to remember how the pictures we showed you a few minutes ago paired up. 15 seconds per question. Question 61. What was paired with this? Was it A, B, C, or D? Question 62, what was paired with this? A, B, C, or D? Question 63, what was paired with this? A, B, C, or D? Question 64, what was paired with this? Is it A, B, C, or D? Question 65. What was paired with this? Is it A, B, C, or D? It's quite subdued here at the moment, don't worry. And a final lot of questions. We all know how popular Test the Nation is here, and you know it's just as popular around the world. Let's have a look and see. Now pay attention as we're going to ask you some questions about this bit of film.
Während der Sendung. Der große IQ-Test.
In Germany, the housewives scored 101 and the bald men managed 112, but were beaten by Dutch blondes with 118. Japanese students did even better with 121, while US scientists beat them with 125. Meanwhile, world class were the French firemen with 135. Oh, and in Japan we found a very familiar face lending his expertise.
This evening's test will be, well, first of all, it'll be fun. I think we'll all enjoy doing it. And it'll tell us something useful about ourselves as well, something important we ought to know about ourselves.
I think he looks very nice in Japanese, actually. OK, questions on that footage, so I hope you were paying attention. Last example coming up. What were the US scientists all wearing? Was it huge, thick frame glasses, white coats, radiation stickers, or Hawaiian shirts? Doctors, could we have some help with that? What's the answer?
White coats.
White coats, B. You meant to say B.
B.
OK. Just like you're wearing tonight, got that? Yes, good. Last 5 questions, 20 seconds each. Question 66. At the very start of the sequence, what was shown on the screen? Was it German housewives, a man and woman arguing about their IQ, the outside of a TV studio, or a thoughtful female face? Question 67. What followed Test the Nation on one country's opening credits? Did it say, what's your IQ? How brainy are you? How smart are you? Or how do you size up? Question 68. Which group had an average IQ of 118? Was it the scientists, the blondes, the politicians, or the firemen? Question 69. The Japanese had a huge Test the Nation sign in neon letters on their glass TV studio. What colour were those letters? Multicoloured, red, green, or yellow? Finally, where did the blonde group come from? Was it Sweden, Belgium, Germany, or Holland? The end of the last section, and indeed the end of the National IQ Test 2004. Give yourself a huge round of applause.
Colin, just very quickly, what difference does your IQ have if you have a high IQ when you get older?
What difference is that?
When you get older, if you have a high IQ, does that change your old age?
Yes, it can predict some things about you. For example, it can predict how likely you are to be independent in your old age, rather than having to go into residential accommodation.
Oh, well, that's a nice happy note to finish on, isn't it? Thank you, Annie.
OK, we'll take a break now for the news. You have 20 minutes rest before we give you the results.
It's already clear that we've had thousands of people taking the test online, and we'll see you in about 20 minutes.